something from the last chapter? I don't think so. I think we are there here, chapter 18, right? Yeah, you could proceed with chapter 18. As far as I know, we have covered the full chapter, or I think we finished 18, 17 chapter. I'm just referring.
Yeah, I think so. Completed it before chapter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we covered 17. So chapter 18, and I think this is a small chapter. So you could, oh, no, this is the one big one, right? So maybe you can read till 30.
Till text 30.
30.
Okay. Text 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Prishnistu Patni Savitu.
No, only translation. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And maybe we will start with
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Prishni, who was the wife of Savita, the fifth of the 12 sons of Aditi, gave birth to 3 daughters, Savitri, Vyahriti, and Trayi, and the sons named Agnihotra, Pashu, Soma, Chaturmasya, and the 5 Mahayajnas. O King Siddhi, who was the wife of Bhaga, the sixth son of Aditi, bore 3 sons named Mahima, Vibhu, and Prabhu, and one extremely beautiful daughter whose name was Ashi. Datha, the 7th son of Aditi, had 4 wives named Kuhu, Shinivali, Raka, and Anumati. These wives begot 4 sons named Sayam, Darsha, Prataha, and Purnamasa respectively. The wife of Vidhata, the 8th son of Aditi, was named Kriya. In her, Vidhata begot the 5 fire gods named the Purishyas. The wife of Varuna, the 9th son of Aditi, was named Charshani. Bhrigu, the son of Brahma, took birth again in her womb. By the semen of Varuna, the great mystic Valmiki took birth from an anthill. Bhrigu and Valmiki were specific sons of Varuna, whereas Agastya and Vashishta rishis were the common sons of Varuna and Mitra, the 10th son of Aditi. Upon seeing Urvashi, the celestial society girl, both Mitra and Varuna discharged semen which they preserved in an earthen pot. The 2 sons Agastya and Vashishta later appeared from that pot, and they are therefore the common sons of Mitra and Varuna. Mitra begot 3 sons in the womb of his wife, whose name was Revati. Their names were Utsarga, Arishta, and Pipala. O King Parikshit, Indra, the king of the heavenly planets and 11th son of Aditi, begot 3 sons named Jayanta, Rishabha, and Nidusha in the womb of his wife Paulomi. Thus we have heard. By his own potency, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has multifarious potencies, appeared in the form of a dwarf as Urukrama, the 12th son of Aditi. In the womb of his wife, whose name was Kirti, he begot one son named Brihat Shloka, who had many sons headed by Shaubhaga. Later, in the 8th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I shall describe how Urukrama, Lord Vamanadev, appeared as the son of the great sage Kashyapa, and how he covered the three worlds with 3 steps. I shall describe the uncommon activities he performed, his qualities, his power, and how he took birth from the womb of Aditi. Now let me describe the sons of Diti, who were begotten by Kashyapa but who became demons. In this demoniac family, the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj appeared, and Bali Maharaj also appeared in that family. The demons are technically known as Daityas because they proceeded from the womb of Diti. First, the 2 sons named Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha took birth from Diti's womb. Both of them were very powerful and were worshipped by the Daityas and Danavas. Could you scroll down? The wife of Hiranyakashipu was known as Kayadhu. She was the daughter of Jamba and a descendant of Danu. She gave birth to 4 consecutive sons known as Shambhlada, Anuhlada, Hlada, and Prahlada. The sister of these 4 sons were known as Shimhika. She married the demon named Viprachit and gave birth to another demon named Rahu. While Rahu, in disguise, was drinking nectar among the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead severed his head. The wife of Samhlada was named Kriti. By union with Samhlada, Kriti gave birth to a son named Panchajana. The wife of Hlada was named Dhamani. She gave birth to 2 sons named Vatapi and Ilvala. When Agastya Muni became Ilvala's guest, Ilvala served him a feast by cooking Vatapi, who was in the shape of a ram. The wife of Ahuhlada was named Surya. She gave birth to 2 sons named Bashkala and Mahisha. Prahlad had 1 son, Virochana, whose wife gave birth to Bali Maharaj. Thereafter, Bali Maharaj begot 100 sons in the womb of Ashana. Of these 100 sons, King Bana was the eldest. The activities of Bali Maharaj, which are very laudable, will be described later in the 8th canto. Since King Bana was a great worshipper of Lord Shiva, he became one of Lord Shiva's most celebrated associates. Even now, Lord Shiva protects King Bana's capital and always stands beside him. The 49 Marut demigods were also born from the womb of Diti. None of them had sons. Although they were born of Diti, King Indra gave them a position as demigods. King Parikshit inquired, "My dear Lord, due to their birth, the 49 Maruts must have been obsessed with a demoniac mentality. Why did Indra, the king of heaven, convert them into demigods? Did they perform any rituals or pious activities?" My dear Brahmana, I and all the sages present with me are eager to know about this. Therefore, O great soul, kindly explain to us the reason. Shri Shuta Goswami said, "O great Shaunaka, after hearing Maharaj Parikshit speak respectfully and briefly on topics essential to hear, Shukadev Goswami, who was well aware of everything, praised his endeavor with great pleasure and replied." Shri Shukadev Goswami said, "Just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the 2 brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Aditi, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows. Lord Indra, who is very much fond of sense gratification, has killed the 2 brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, by means of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind? When dead, the bodies of all the rulers known as kings and great leaders will be transformed into worms, stool, or ashes. If one enviously kills others for the protection of such a body, does he actually know the true interest of life? Certainly he does not. For if one is envious of other entities, he surely goes to hell. Diti thought, Indra considers his body eternal, and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. Thinking in this way with a desire for a son to kill Indra, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa by her pleasing behavior. O king, Diti always carried out Kashyapa's orders very faithfully, as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her husband, and with smiles and glances at him. Diti attracted his mind and brought it under her control. Although Kashyapa Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by a husband is not at all astonishing. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, the father of the living entities of the universe, saw that all the living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created woman from the better half of man's body, for woman's behavior carries away a man's mind.
Till the 31.
O my dear one, the most powerful sage Kashyapa, being extremely pleased by the mild behavior of his wife Diti, smiled and spoke to her as follows.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed reading.
Yes, Prabhu.
What did you like so far?
I mean, just the whole history, I guess, of
Mm-hmm.
the demoniac family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much. Of course, these questions that are asked. Wait a second. So, am I still sharing my screen? Okay. Yeah. Okay. With new screens, no, things become challenging. They keep upgrading, and I'm still the same old. So let me know if you see me. Okay. So yeah, this is nice. Kind of a precursor to the chapter to the Canto 7 about partiality, right? The question already asked is why is Indra favored though he's envious? How many of us has this question? Hmm. Seems no one, because we have covered already seventh canto. That's why usually they say Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya is something like one has to go chapter by chapter, canto after canto. So because of Bhagavad Sapta, we just went ahead, leaving these couple of chapters in the sixth canto. But we can understand why this whole narration came up with the Prahlad Maharaj, where Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha's topics were discussed. And here we can see what happened is after Chitraketus, yeah, we already discussed Phalastuti last week. So this is very, very special to understand. There is always this question or a doubt in our mind, what happened? And here we can see the lineage, how Shukadev Goswami is saying, then there is this, yeah, Shri Sukha Uvacha Prishnistu Patni Savituhu Savitrim Vyahritim Traim Agnihotra Pashum Shomam Chaturmasya Makhan. Uh, um, Makha is Yagya. Hmm? Not this Makhana that we are talking. We are talking about Makhan. So, Prishni, who was the wife of Savita, Prishni, and the fifth of the 12 sons of Atiri gave birth to 3 daughters. Let me once. Is it right? Prishni, who was the wife of Savita? One second, I'm checking. What translation? Savita. Where is this coming? Okay, no, I'm a bit lost. One second.
It came on the first sloka.
Yeah, that I know. I'm just checking from the previous chapter. Okay, let me do the follow. Yeah. Okay, Savita is the. Okay. Oh. So the context here is we are talking about 12 Adityas. Yeah? We have Kashyapa and Atidi. Kashyapa Muni and Atidi. Atidi gave birth to 12 Adityas. And here we are talking the descendants of the first four of them. Uh, um, mentioned in the sixth canto, sixth chapter. Now the remaining descendants are covered here. To get us more context, let me quickly go through the sixth canto. Six, yes. So we are talking about the Kashyapa and Danu. Six, it is said, Viprachiti. This is coming in the progeny of Daksha. You remember where Daksha was again given a chance to be born and to continue progenation. And in that connection, there is this list of the Kashyapa's lineage. Adityas, who are Adityas? Vaivaswan, Aryama, Pusha, Tvishta, Savita. Yeah, this is the word that I was looking. Savita, Bhaga, Dhata, Vidhata, Varuna, Mitra, Shatru, and Urukrama. So these were the 12 Adityas who are born from Atidi and Kashyapa Muni. Of them, we already have, in this way, there is the description of mm, Vaivaswan and Aryama, uh, Pusha, and Tvashta. Uh, and Vishwarupa was born from Vishwarupa. We understood, who was killed, and then there is this Vritrasura that all came, and then going further. Now in this chapter, Kashyapa Muni's further uh, lineage is explained. Yeah, of that Savita, Bhaga, Dhata, Vidhata, Varuna, uh, Mitra, Indra. So and Urukrama, Vamanadev. So there are these 12 Adityas in that. How did we know in the eighth canto we have covered about Vamanadev, who is also son of Kashyapa Muni and Atiti, because when Diti became sad because her sons were affected by King Indra, she performed vrata for the welfare of their sons, and then she could be blessed. Yeah? And similarly, when the demigods, were suffering because of Hiranyakashipu dominance, at that time Atidi did tapasya, um, and she went to Bali Maharaj the son of Atiti in the form of Manadev, Urukrama, he went. So this is common, and in fact, I heard that one the world where we are living is always having this devatas and danavas, yeah, or daityas. Yeah, here we are talking about Aditi's sons are Adityas and Diti's sons are Daityas. And yeah, we are talking about Danavas who are second grade uh, Daityas. This is also we'll cover later. So here Shukadev Goswami is bringing up, yeah, so Prishnistu Patni Savituhu Savitrim Vyahritim Trayim Agnihotra Pashu Somam Chaturmasam Maha Maghan. So in this way, Shukadev Goswami is telling that, Prishni, who was the wife of Savita, the fifth of the 12 sons of Atiti. The four are already covered in the sixth canto, sixth chapter, and now in the 18th chapter we are discussing about the fifth of the 12 sons of Atiti gave birth to three daughters, Savitri, Vyahriti, and Trayi. And the sons named Agnihotra, Pashu, Shoma, Chaturmasa, and five Mahayajnas. This Maha see these five yajnas are coming from there. सिद्धिर्भगस्य भार्याङ्ग महिमानं विभुं प्रभुं आशिषं च वरारोहां कन्यां प्रासूत सुव्रतात्. So, Siddhi, who was the wife of Bhaga, the sixth son of Atiti, bore three sons named Mahima, Vibhu, and Prabhu, and one extremely beautiful daughter whose name was Ashi. धातु कुहु सिनी वाली राका चानुमति तथा सायं दर्शम अथ प्रातः पूर्णमासम अनुक्रमात् अग्नीन पुरीष्यान आदाता क्रियायां समनो समनंतरत चर्षणि वरुणस्यासीद् यस्यां जातो भृगु पुनः. So this is explaining about Data. We were also discussing Data, Vidhata. Here, Data, the seventh son of Atiti, had four wives named Kuhu, Sinivali, Raka, and Anumati. So here we are talking about Atiti's seventh son. He had these four wives, and these wives begot four sons named Sayam, Darsha, Pratah, Purnamasa, respectively. And from wife of Vidhata, the eighth son of Atiti was named Kriya. In Kriya and Data, they had five fire gods named Purishya. Uh, then the wife of Varuna, the ninth son, was named Charshani. The wife is named, and Bhrugu, the son of Brahma, took birth again in her womb. So all these technical details one may find in some other Puranas more detailedly, but here we are covering a very high level of how the genealogy looks like. And then वाल्मीकिश्च महायोगी वाल्मीकाद् अभवत् किल अगस्त्य च वसिष्ठश्च मित्र वरुणयोर ऋषि. And here the sons if we can see by the semen of Varuna, the great mystic Valmiki took birth from an anthill. Bhrigu and Valmiki were specific sons of Varuna, whereas Agastya and Vasishta were the common sons of Varuna and Mitra, the tenth son of Atiti. Reta Stishi Chatu Kumbhe Urvasha Sannidho Dhrutam Revatyam Mitra Utsargam Arishtam Pippalam Vyadhat. Arishta, Pippala, and Utsarga were born from Mitra. Mitra begot 3 sons in the womb of his wife, and here we can see that Urvashi, mm, uh, because of her great beauty, Mitra and Varuna discharged semen which they preserved in an earthen pot. The 2 sons, Agastya and Vasishtha, later appeared from that pot. We can see in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that modern science is trying to generate living entities in test tubes by processing semen, but even long ago, it was possible for semen kept in a pot to develop into a child. So sometimes I think that our advancement, our thought processes are going in line with what are successful stories from our scriptures. Only thing is still we don't know the key. What is that? How to find it out? Because we are more in a speculation or in an exploration. Rather, we have to accept the scriptures. Paulomyam Indra Adatta Trin Putran iti nah Shrutam Jayantam Rishabham Tata Tritiyam Midhusham Prabhu. And then Indra, the king of heavenly planets and the 11th son of Atiti, begot 3 sons named Jayanta, Rishabha, Midhusha in the womb of his wife Paulami. Thus, this is what was already covered in the 6th canto, 6th chapter. Urukramasya devasya mayavanmana rupinah kirtau patnyam brachlokas tasyasan sobhaga sobhaga dayah. In this respect, here it says the Supreme Lord, by his own potency, who has multifarious potencies, appeared in the form of a dove as Urukrama, the 12th son of Atidi. So this 12th son of Atidi, it says, in the womb of his wife, whose name was Kirti, he begot one son named Brihadshloka, who had many sons headed by Shobhaga. In the purport, Prabhupada is saying, Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritin swam adhisthaya sambhavami atmamaya. So it says, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead incarnates, he does not need any help from the external energy. He appears as he is by his own potency. The spiritual potency is also called Maya. That's why here the first it says, Ato Maya Mayam Vishnum Prabha Pravadanti Manishinaha. The body accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Maya. This does not mean that he is formed of external energy. This Maya refers to his internal potency. Hmm. तत्कर्मगुणवीर्याणि कस्यापस्य महात्मनः पश्चाद् वक्ष्यामहे आदित्यां यथैवावता यथैवावतारम् अह. Hmm? So now from the verse number 10, yeah, or even very so he's saying about the Urukrama I am going to cover in the 8th canto, about his qualities, his power and how he took birth from the womb of Atidi. I'll cover later. And Shukadev Goswami is saying, Atah Kashyapa Dayadan Daitye Yan Kirtayami Te Tatra Bhagavata Shriman Prahlado Balir Evacha. So Prahlad and Bali Maharaj have appeared not in Aditya's lineage. Here we can see is from from Diti. Let me describe the sons of Diti who were begotten by Kashyapa but who became demons. So this is what. दितेर्द्वाद एव दायादौ दैत्यदानव वन्दितौ हिरण्यकशिपुर नाम हिरण्याक्ष च कीर्तितौ. Uh, so first the 2 sons named Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha took birth from Diti's womb. Both of them were very powerful and very were worshipped by Daityas and Danavas. Hmm. Hiranyakashipur Bharya Kayadur Nama Danavi Jambasya Tanaya Satu Sushuve Chaturah Sutan Samhradam Prag Anuhradam Hradam Prahladam Evacha Tat Svasha Simhika Nama Rahum Viprachito Agrahit. So this is explained that the wife of Hiranyakashipu was known as Kayadu. Somewhere we hear also Leelavati. Yeah, here we can see from this Bhagavatam reference, Hiranyakashipu's wife name is Kayadu. She was the daughter of Jamba and a descendant of Dhanu. So that's how we can call up Danava. How Danavas are coming because descendants of Dhanu. She gave birth to four consecutive sons known as Samhlada, Anuhlada, Hlada, and Prahlada. The sister of these four sons was known as Simhika. She married Viprachit and gave birth to another demon named Rahu. Shiroharad Yasya Haris Chakrena Pibato Amritam Samhradasya Kritir Bharya Suta Panchajanam Tata. While Rahu in disguise was drinking nectar among the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead severed his head. Yeah, we are talking about this grahas, yeah, eclipse. The wife of Samhlada was named Kriti. By union with Samhlada, Kriti gave birth to a son named Panchajana. ह्रादस्य दमनिर्भार्या सूतवातापि इल्वलं यो अगत्स्याय त्व अतिथ्याये पेचे वातापिम ihvalah. There is a nice story about this. The wife of Hlada was named Dhamani. She gave birth to two sons, Vatapi and Ilvala. When Agastya Muni became Ilvala's guest, yeah, right. Ilvala served him a feast by cooking Vatapi, who was in the shape of a ram. Yeah, there is this two sons of Dhamani. In the forest, what they do is they they get into a disguise of a goat. Am I right? Um, yeah. What is ram what is the word ram? Shape of a. I think it comes in a ghost form. Sorry, goat form, not ghost. So these two, what they do is they just uh, go in disguise, invite brahmanas to their cave, saying that okay, please come, and we will feed you, and that is our sukriti, our good fortune, and they prepare a very nice soup, and this soup is actually made of Vatapi. So the Vatapi this transforms himself into um, this kind of a goat or something, and this is what is made into a soup, and this is what is served to whoever comes. And when they come and they loot all their wealth, so this is what was the trick they used to do. And Ilvala invited Agastya Muni because Agastya Muni know that these two were creating all kinds of anyway, the story is a little longer. Agastya Muni, yeah, uh, when he wanted to, when he was asked to accept Grahastha life to marry, and Agastya Muni, because yeah, there's there's a whole story. Again, he asked his dear wife, "Do you want thousands of sons who are not worthy or like that?" He gives options, and finally she says one son who can mm, be great devotee. So in that context he says okay, just wait. Yeah, all this is in the context of this comes in the context of how Bhagirath has brought Ganges So to clear Anshuman, right? You remember that all were cursed by Janu Muni in a cave. When the sons go and disturbs him, they were cursed and they become ashes. And uh, to yeah to liberate from that, because okay, one needs to do shad, and where is that? It's not possible. So to facilitate that all these things happen, I mean, I'm just kind of not presenting in a very sequential form, but giving the context to what happens. And that's how Agastya Muni he comes to this, because he said, okay, to become grahastha, one need to have uh, arrangement of all the facilities. Yeah, until then Agastya Muni was not so keen. It was only because um, to arrange all these things, then he uh, says, okay, let me get the wealth, arrange everything. And when for that reason he comes to know about these two naughty demons who plundered the wealth of all the people by doing this trick, that they invite them to their home and feed the soup, and after the soup is inside, and because the soup is non different or is made actually from vatapi, so that's why this vatapi bursts out from the stomach and then gone. The person is dead, and all the wealth that is becomes theirs. And in that way, they have a huge storehouse of such treasures. And to get that, Agastya Muni, yeah, for him, what he does is, okay, yeah, I know all these things. And then when he drinks the soup, and now Vatapi wanted to burst out from the stomach of Agastya Muni. But Agastya Muni is so great, he just uh, smeared his tummy, and then uttered a mantra for digestion. That's why people call Vata Jirnam. Even so, even if something is not digestible, that can get digested. So in this way, Agastya Muni could simply digest him and then finish. Vatapi is dead. Okay. Anyway, I'll find in the reference. It's in the Ramayana. This comes in the Ramayana, and so anyway, here we know who are their parents. Uh, the wife of Lada is Dhamani, and their sons are Vatapi and Ilvala. And then the next is Anuhradasya Suryayam Bhaskalo Mahisha Tatha Virochana tu Prahradir Devyam Tasya Bhavad Balihi. Here it's mentioned this Anuhradasya, from Anuhlada Suryayam, through sun, Bhaskala, Mahisha, uh, they came, and also Virochana, the son of Prahlad, uh, and Devyam through his wife Tasya Bali. In this way, this whole line is explained. The wife of Anuhlada was named Surya. She gave birth to two sons, uh, Bhaskala and Mahisha. Prahlad had one son, Virochana, whose wife gave birth to Bali Maharaj. So in that way, Prahlad Maharaj is grandfather of Bali Maharaj. बाणज्येष्ठं पुत्रं सतम् असनायां ततो भवत् तस्यानुभावन् सुश्लोक्यं पश्चाद एवाभिधास्यते. Thereafter, Bali Maharaj begot 100 sons from the womb of Ashana. Hmm? Ashana. Of these 100 sons, King Bana, we know Banasura, was so great, and in fact a great devotee of Lord Shiva, that it says Bana Aradhyam Girisham Lebhe Tad Gana Mukhyatam Yat Parshve Bhagavan Aste Hi Adyapi Purapalakaha. So even now Lord Shiva protects King Bana's capital and always stands beside him. Hmm. So in this way, it's mentioned about that Marutascha dite putran chatvarimshan navadikaha ta asan apragya sarve nita indrena satmatam. So 49 Marutas, demigods, were also born from the womb of Diti. None of them had sons. Although they were born of Diti, King Indra gave them a position as demigods. From here, this chapter is getting us a cue towards the upcoming chapter as well as the canto. Here is saying, apparently even demons can be elevated to position as demigods when their atheistic character is reformed. There are two kinds of men throughout the universe. Those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are called demigods, and those who are just the opposite are called demons. Even the demons can be transformed into demigods, as statement of this verse proves. This is what here happened. King Indra gave them a position as demigods. Uh, Shri Raja Vacha. Now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, Katham ta asuram bhavam apohyotpatikam guru indrena uh, prapita prapita syatmyam Satmyam kim tat sadhu kritam hi tai. Uh, my dear Lord, due to their birth, the 49 Marthas must have been obsessed with demonic mentality. Why did Indra, king of heaven, convert them into demigods? Did they perform any rituals or pious activities? What did they do? इमे श्रद्धा दते ब्रह्मन् ऋषयो हि मया सह परिज्ञानाय भय भगवंस् तन्नो व्याख्यातुन arhasi. He's saying, my dear Brahmana, I and all the sages, Saunaka Rishi is asking Suta Goswami, um, I and all sages present with me are eager to know about this. Therefore, O great soul, kindly explain to us the reason. Shri Suta Uvacha Tad Vishnuratasya Sabhadarayana Vacho Nisamya Dhrita Alpam Artavat Sabhajam Sabhajayan Sa Nibhre Tena Chetasa Jagada Satrayana Sarvadarshanaha. Is saying, oh great, Suta Goswami is saying, oh great Shaunaka, after hearing Maharaj Parikshit speak respectfully and briefly on topic essential to hear, Shukadev Goswami, who was well aware of everything, praised his endeavor. Purport Prabhupada mentioned Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He brings this context. Maharaj Parikshit's question was very much appreciated by Shukadev Goswami because although it was composed of a small number of words, it contained meaningful inquiries about how the sons of Diti, although born as demons, became demigods. Hmm. So this 22 gives actually account of three examples here. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur stresses that even though Diti was very envious, her heart was purified because of her devotional attitude. This is what happens later, we will know. Another significant topic is that although Kashyapa Muni was learned scholar and was advanced in spiritual consciousness, he nonetheless fell a victim to the inducement of his beautiful wife. Uh, this is why this is also what we will see. He appreciates, and then this whole Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha coming into picture. All these questions were posed in a small number of words, and therefore Shukadev Goswami very much appreciated Maharaj Parikshit's inquiry. Shri Sukha Uvacha Hataputra Diti Sakra Parasni Grahena Vishnuna Manyuna Shoka Deeptena Jwalanti Paryachintayat. So, Sri Shukadev Goswami said, just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Diti, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows. Oh, this Vishnu, he has killed. Kadanu Bhratar Hantaram Indriyaramam Ulbhanam Aklinna Hridayam Papam Gadayitva Saye Sukham. Lord Indra, huh? What happened to him? He killed his own brother, killer of the brothers, Bhratar Hantaram, Indriyaramam, fond of sense gratification. He became so cruel, Ulbhanam, Aklina Hridayam, uh, Aklina Hridayam means very, very hard-hearted. How can he do this sinful act? This is the question. Lord Indra, he was very much fond of sense gratification, has killed Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind? Krimi vid bhasma samjasid yasye sabhihitasya cha bhutadrik tat krite swartham kim veda nirayon yataha. When dead, the bodies of all the rulers, known as kings and great leaders, will be transformed into worms, stool, or ashes. If one enviously kills others for protection of such body, does he actually know the truth interest of life? Certainly he does not. For if one is envious of other entities, he surely goes to hell. I don't know who is envious here. Was it only Indra or we can see Diti also? Let's cover that later. Yeah, it comes. The metal body, even if possessed by a great king, is ultimately transformed into stool, worms, and ashes. When one is too attached to the bodily conception of life, he is certainly not very intelligent. आसानस्य तस्येदं ध्रुवम् उन्नतः चेतसः मदशोषक इन्द्रस्य भूयाद् येन सुतो हि मे. Diti thought, Indra considers his body eternal, and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. Huh? So here in the purport it says, one who is in the bodily conception of life is compared in the Shastras to animals like cows and asses. Diti wanted to punish Indra, who had become like a low animal. Iti bhavena sa bhartur achachara sakrit sushrushyanuragena prashrayena damena cha bhaktya paramaya rajan manojyair valgubhashitaihi manojagrah bhavagnya samsi tapanga vikshanaihi. Thinking in this way, Didi began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa. She was thinking like this, and what she want is now, yes, I need to teach Indra a lesson. And while thinking, she thought, let me please my husband because he's great mystic, and whatever I want, it can come through my husband. Uh, oh king, Diti addressed Kashyapa Muni in this way. Of course, we know we call yeah, yogis as a Maharaja because they have complete control of senses. Here, Diti is addressing her husband as um, Diti always carried out Kashyapa's order very faithfully as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken sweetly to satisfy her husband. She spoke. Diti attracted his mind and brought it under her control. Uh, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions when a woman wants to endear herself to her husband and make him very faithful, she must try to please him in all respects. When the husband is pleased with his wife, the wife can receive all necessities, ornaments, and full satisfaction for her senses. Herein, this is indicated by the behavior of Diti. Evam striya jadi bhuto विद्वान् अपि मनोज्ञया बाढम् इति आह विवशो न चित्रम हो हि योषिते. This verse is important to understand. I think this 29:30. Although Kashyapa Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior. which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by husband is not at all astonishing. विलोक्यैकान्त भूतानि भूतानि आदौ प्रजापतिः स्त्रियं चक्रे स्वदेहार्धं यया पुंसां मतिर्हृता. In the purport Prabhupada highlights, what is happening is, in the beginning of creation, Lord Indra, the father of living entities, saw that all living entities were unattached. That is the problem, right? When we were covering that in the, I think it came in the second canto. I don't remember the chapter, but yeah, uh, whatever Indra, na? So Indra plan or service was to do what? To expand all to fill the universe with all creatures and living beings and all those things, but no one were interested. Someone asks, right? How come that all of a sudden these things changed? In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, father of living entity of universe, saw that all living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created women from the better half of man's body, for woman's behavior carries away a man's mind. If someone has read, what is it called? Genesis? Am I right? The book of Genesis or only Genesis? How the Adam and Eve came, and I think all the Abrahamian religions accept this, right? Yeah. In that there is this details that are mentioned, and we can see here, we can see in in the beginning of the creation, man was quite unattached. And if that's nothing, then how can things proceed for the plan of creation? It's happened. This entire universe is going under the spell of sexual attachment, which was created by Lord Brahma to increase population of entire universe, not only in human society but also in all other species. In fact, in the fifth canto where we just finished Rishabhadev, Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhavam Etam. Of course, this chapter being a chapter for, sometimes some people will think why Bhagavatam is so much um, yeah, pointing out or criticizing women. What is our fault? Why are they calling we are less intelligent? Or why are they saying we are the object of sense enjoyment? But all these things, yeah. So people will say, yeah, it is. The thing is that more or less, I mean, there is quite of in the Kali Yuga we see, yeah, there is what do we call a sense of struggle of establishing equality in power, because of our advancement, because of our ability to become independent, because of this independence, whether it is taken or given, yeah, there is a sense of equality. And because of this sense of equality, what is happening is that yeah, we are trying to be our best. The other day there was yeah, a lady who wanted to prove that we are not less than men. After all, uh, why, if men have a problem, why are they pushing it on us? It's our body, we can dress as we like. And then she went on social media to show herself, yeah, I can also be in swimsuit. What is wrong? And of course, there is always this media who always want some nice uh, topics of gossips, or yeah, so that they can make it bigger and bigger. And the media has mistreated. Yeah, of course, she want to prove to the world that yes, we are already under scrutiny of unnecessary um, power exercised on us. So we want to show that we are not afraid. Yeah, we are fearless. When we are fearless, then we have a chance to rule. Otherwise, there are so many countries in the world where women have no right even to talk in public. So at least, so one want to show, or one want to come and express that no, women also have equal rights. And in this process, of course, it was to other extreme that she did, yeah, rather in a more educated way. She has released herself in swimsuits and saying, oh, and then the media misused and the people who saw misused, or yeah. So coming back here, we can understand. Um, then the question comes always: is the problem of men or is it the problem of women? Whose problem it is in today's world that there is so much uh, abuses that are happening? These abuses are happening, yeah, because of whom? We can see both have a role to play. And now the question comes, why only women? Huh? Why only women? We can see that in the process of advancement, we have changed quite a bit, where the men, anyway, yeah, they were earning. If they would have responsibly earned the livelihood for the family and taken care of the family, then women doesn't have to do all these things. They would be more than happy to take care of their own responsibilities. But the system, the world where we are is impacted because of what do you call this? A lot of freedom in the form of diverse, lot of social acceptance of in the name of equality, that okay, if you don't like, you can just change. Just like in Germany, if you don't like a product for 14 days, you can exchange with no obligations. Maybe afterwards, the obligations become bigger. So one may think, okay, divorce is also something, a means through which one can get out of the all abuses. So and wherever such things are there, then that is misused. Yeah, more we can discuss later in the noise. Yeah, but okay. Then coming back to Bhagavatam. Sorry, Bhagavatam. Why people will say, why is this? Why is it so much? We see so many places like this. In fact, here is also to increase population. He then created woman uh, from the better half of man's body. That's why we say better half. Better half means, in a way, we can say that men and women are already one. Yeah, in the interest of population, in the interest of creation of population, an entity is made, a living entity in the form of woman. Huh? Of course, again, one shouldn't think this as, oh, what is this? Is that then the women become slaves of men? No, here we are talking about the purpose of existence of opposite gender is for expansion of population. But slowly, what happens is, okay, imbalances come into picture, polarities come into picture, and preferences come into picture, due to which we start seeing different differences in women and men. Okay, again coming back to Bhagavatam, that's I'm still going away into current affairs to bring ourselves in the context, but Bhagavatam is not um, for any ordinary people, because our mind, our intelligence is quite low. That's why we start thinking, why is Bhagavatam highlighting this so much? Everything has its purpose. Yeah, the flow has a purpose, the sky has a purpose. Yeah. And yeah, what does that mean? On the floor, everything is built. On the sky, everything is there, through which all the stars and the space is there. Everything has its place. And in the mode of service, there is no fight that sky is thinking, let me become the floor or the earth, and no, nothing like that. Uh, so there is no competition. The only thing is, because of in the name of advancement, the competition is coming because of selfish interest and survival and so many things. Bhagavatam is clearly mentioning the purpose of men and women is for creation, and of course, creation or any kind of creation, no, creation for advancement, for liberation. In this purport. Hmm, this entire universe is going under the spell of sexual attachment, which was created by Lord Brahma to increase the population. In fact, this attraction also in the Lord's universal form, Virat Roop, Vishwarupa, There is this mention. This enjoyment is also, it's not independent. This is also has its place from the Lord, and through Brahma this is manifested. In fifth canto, Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhavam Etam, uh, Rishabhadev, who is an Avadhuta, who is just leaving everything and yeah, taking up this Avadhuta lifestyle. Yeah, he's already so advanced. So Bhagavatam is spoken about those great people. The teachings are of that great quality. If we cannot appreciate them, it's our fault. If we are seeing in Bhagavatam why there is this kind of descriptions, I think we have to understand, first of all, we should come out of our low level thinking. Then these things will not appear too much disturbing. Okay. When this is the illusion of material world, this illusion acted upon Kashyapa Muni, although he was very learned and advanced in spiritual knowledge. So Matra Swasra दुहित्रा वा नाभिव नाभिविक्तासनो भवेत् बलवान् इन्द्रियग्रामो विध्वंसम् अपि कर्षति. It says a man should not associate with the woman in a solitary place, not even with his mother, sister, or daughter, for the senses are so strong that they lead astray even a person advanced in knowledge. When a man remains in solitary place with women, his desires undoubtedly increase. Therefore, the word ekanta bhutani, which are used here, indicate that to avoid sexual desires, one should avoid the company of women as far as possible. Yes, so that is how the system is built, and there is nothing um, thought low or superior. Yeah, here it is said that's how the creation is made. Yeah, if someone is feeling, oh, this is injustice, uh, it is in the third canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 25th or 27th chapter, it is mentioned. Kapila Muni says, you know what, when no, sorry, not there, not there. It comes in Puranjanas, where it says that one, because Puranjana was so much attached to Puranjani, he was always thinking in the next life he became a woman. This is what happens. So similarly, if someone feels, oh, it is a big injustice, either think of returning home back to Godhead by becoming devotee, or yeah, if one is so much envious or jealous of the facilities and privileges of men, or the vice versa, yeah, because one may think, hey, how nice it is if I become a woman, because a woman can have 100 people doing all services because she is recognized, facilitated, all these things. Yeah, if whatever reasons, yeah, all these are illusory thoughts. If one wants, yeah, always think about, then one gets next life the opposite gender. uh, but our purpose is not that we want to get out of it. Evam sushushita tata bhagavan kasyapa striya prahasya parama prito diti ahabhi nandya cha. He's saying the most powerful, says Kashyapa, being extremely pleased by the mild behavior of his wife, Diti smiled and spoke to her as follows. This is what we'll cover next week. Yep. Thoughts or questions, if someone has? No?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Great.
Yeah, this chapter is very technical and it requires quite attention to understand the lineage and what is it coming from.
Some
But
people study history, right? Master of MA in history. Maybe it's an interesting chapter for them because they can start connecting dots from different sides. For us, I'm happy because I don't know so much. It is just like a novel reading. Okay, these I know. Okay, this is that few dots I could connect. But this is such a nice subject for people who are interested in history of mankind. Yeah, sometimes I read Bible this Genesis mainly because there's so much the similarities. I mean, not similarities. There is so much description. What happened? What happened on day one? What happened day two? What happened day three? What happened till day 13? So there's whole description. So sometimes people want the root, the mm, where is
Mhm.
it coming from? Yeah, source. Yeah.
Yeah, the history requires a lot of memory power, and I mean, if we
Yeah,
read it,
after we know there are 60 sons and 100 sons, now how many how many of them should we remember and uh,
mm,
at least if we go 20 30 years back or our parents or their parents,
mm,
they even know all these things na, to a greater extent they can relate like that person had three wives and three wives they were coming from these three different places and they have 15 kids and each of them so they have quite a good memory. They could
yes,
remember
Prabhuji.
and they could
Yes,
say the whole tree, family tree.
yes, Prabhuji.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so there is a thought came.
Mhm.
I think somewhere we have written or we have seen or heard that when Diti was about to give birth to Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, she was holding her
For
womb for
many years.
thousands of years before giving the birth, so that when she realized that the demons will be born,
Yeah.
but when she heard that from Kashyap Muni
Mm.
that her sons will be delivered by the Lord Himself, then
Mm.
she got some satisfaction, and his and her great son grandson will be a great devotee like Prahlad Maharaj.
Mm.
So that time she got some satisfaction, okay, and then she gave the birth.
Yeah.
So why after that she was got envious to Indra, because after all her son was delivered by God only,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing.
Mother's nature, right? How can she see the pain of other kids? Unless mother is very, very strong and unless the mother is I mean, the wife is supported by a husband to, in this case, Kashyapa Muni, yeah, Kashyapa Muni was already victim, right? That's the reason Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha were born, right? And but yeah, Kashyap. Here it's mentioned that's the nature. Yeah, if you're asking why it happened, the nature is like that. Uh, Motherly nature, wifely nature, all these natures are there, and then there is also the nature of men, and all these things together. Yeah, one is trying to come out of this energy, material nature, through the devotion, and unless until one takes shelter of bhakti, pure bhakti, huh?
Mm,
Then all these disturbances will keep coming and going.
mm,
Yeah. So we also know there is quite a bit of lack, unclarity is the word. Is there a word unclarity?
mm,
Non-clarity, I think. There's a lot of non-clarity or yeah, lack of clarity
mm,
that we come across and we don't know how to understand the scriptures properly. Yeah, how to understand them, and that's why we refer to the acharyas like Prabhupada. He's giving his commentary and uh, yeah, to cover, of course. Can you imagine one purport? How many kinds of people one purport can cover to the 100%? Hmm? Yeah.
mm,
So right from a level who is at a LKG to a level of PhD, a purport. No, this means then there is also further references. One if one is coming to a next level, then there are also references Acharya Tikas, yeah, like Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan. So these are references through which one can understand more and more deeper. There is no end. The
mm,
only thing is our limits, yeah, like okay, how much time are we giving per day? Is it only one Bhagavatam class on Saturdays, or is it like a Nityam Bhagavatam on weekdays? Is that so? To that extent, we may be getting this much. The more and more one is dwelling, they are reading hours together. I remember His Holiness Kadam Kanan Maharaj when he was in Vrindavan, even as the temple management he was doing, still he was able to make time for reading uh, daily, 1 2 hours. How many I have to check, but every day so much time he was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Mm.
Hmm? And the questions that we are getting, these questions are nice because that shows our inquisitiveness. That is good. Huh? And I'm sure that all this will be answered. It's only that we are not able to give that much time to read through or hear through them. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's why here we already see in the purports, Prabhupada could very briefly tell, this is a nature, and the nature is like that, that men are attracted to women, and women can make best of this so that they can fulfill their ambition or desire. So these things are there. Mm.
Okay.
And why not a transformation after having such a experience? Yes, motherly affection and devotion. There's always this tug of war, right?
Mm.
Hmm. We are going through Jada Bharat story, whether it's dear or the Lord service. Hmm. Why only motherly affection? We are saying the fatherly affection. Even men has this weakness. Why why to talk only about women? Even and forget about Diti. Here we are talking about great devotee like Bharat Maharaj.
Mm.
So the only foolproof way out for our exit from all this suffering is to to practice carefully our devotion.
Yes, material nature influence is so strong that it can divert devotees as well. So, what to tell of?
Yeah, yeah. And that too, what to tell of people who have access to power.
Mm.
In the case of Diti, she has superpower in the form of Kashyapa Muni, right?
Mm.
When you have power, you're always not thinking, oh, I am. It's not like Suniti, where she's saying, oh, Uttanapada, my dear husband, he doesn't care me at all. That's why, what can I do? That's why she sent Dhruva to go and find her own way and please the Lord. But here, in the case of Diti, she had her husband, who is a great yogi. So sometimes power in hand can be quite dangerous if our mind is not in our hand. So
Got
yeah,
it. Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice question. Okay, then yeah, let's close and we see us tomorrow and continue the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Before you leave, 1 second. Talk. Yeah, today is Madhu Prabhu's birthday. So, Hare Krishna, Madhu Prabhu. Yeah,
Hare
a
Krishna.
very happy Krishna conscious life.
Yeah, thank you.
May you get many more opportunities to engage in the service of the Lord enthusiastically, energetically, healthy, and for very, very long time. And may our Lord Narasimhadev give you all protection from all kinds of disturbances for in your devotional services. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. Hare Krishna.
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Please come today to have prasadam
If he is fit, I think.
program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
I will
coming?
see you in noise.
Yes. Okay. Nice.
I'll be there around 14.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Then see you.
Yes.
And yeah, see you soon. Hare Krishna.